Good afternoon. I'm switching time zone. I just came from the northeast and I flew down to Roseau. So it's evening, afternoon, good evening, ladies. Happy International Women's Day to you. You all look lovely, all made up and relaxed. I'm sorry I'm too scruffy. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much.
Same
I
to
can't hear
you.
you all though.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
and
much.
same to
Same to
you.
you.
Anyone want to tell me how they spend their day today? Looking
Yeah.
rested and made up and yes? Before we
Yes,
introduce ourselves, that is.
it was a day of wetting plants, new seedlings, so nothing unusual, just the regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of technical difficulty, but I see Dennis is rectifying that.
Okay, mine was a day of transplanting, making buka and cooking just before.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
My day was well spent in paying bills.
That's an oxymoron. English and happiness doesn't go together. So just for those at home or those who are not actually live as yet on the Facebook page, I'm sure they'll be joining us. Can you introduce yourselves? Everybody know me as Petra Bell Shillingford with the Ministry of Agriculture. We'll get into that, but for the lovely ladies who are well, you look lovely, honestly, I must say. Well, I'm seeing you on the farm every day, so it's a breath of fresh air. So can you introduce yourselves to us, please? We go from my left to your right. Mm-hmm.
I'm Magdalene Ismail, originally from Maho, the village that never sleeps, and I farm on an estate in Sultan, and it's a new passion of mine that I just embraced it, and I'm just so happy doing it. It's so fulfilling, and seeing the result is what that's the blessing. And I love to share, especially with the youth, to encourage them to see the beauty of farming, and not farming only as tilling soil, but farming as a way of life or means of creating an economy, and investing in what is going to be
Okay, great, excellent. So we have with
agriculture.
Miss Maggie. We're moving on to the next.
Pleasant good afternoon. It's nice to be here. I'm Eileen Lloyd. I the PRO of the Bellevue Chope Farmers Group. I love farming. I've been in it for about 40 years. It's my passion. It's the first form of employment created by the Most High. And in it, you find all the other subjects that we depend on. So I love it. It's a passion of mine. I love interacting. I love it's a therapy also. So farming is my life. I just love it after God. I love farming.
And last but by no means least, from the mountaintops.
Hi, hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mabel Esther Charles, better known as Mabel Charles. I came from the beautiful village of Campbell and I reside at Mount Prospect, where I do farming. And I made farming my friend, my everything. I love farming. It's like dear to my heart, and I enjoy every part of it.
Okay, so great. So we got that out of the way. So now we can talk freely, we can communicate, we can dialogue. I just want to say before we continue that we want to thank, honestly, the Global Affairs Canada. This is a program being undertaken in Dominica. We may be familiar with more as the WUSC or the SAC project, and they are partners with the Ministry of Agriculture. We want to thank the Ministry of the Blue and Green Economy, where I work, Agriculture and Fisheries, for assisting us. And we really want to say thank you to Monica for making sure that all the kinks were ironed out, everything was in place. Now, we are focusing on the theme, which is women driving digital innovation and technological advancement for gender equality and equity. And of course, we'll be focusing more on women. So when you all are all based agriculture, some of you are diversified into business, into some of you came from education, as Maggie said. Miss Lloyd says she's the original employee of what Mother God. Is it for you, Miss Lloyd? Is it Father God or Mother God? Or is it both?
What
Is God a woman, basically, I'm asking you.
he's not a woman.
Okay,
God
okay.
is
So I thought
not a
we're
woman.
going to agree that he is a woman, then
No,
everything is perfect.
no, 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 no. I won't.
Okay. So because of that, in terms of, you want to share a little bit about your experiences in agriculture for us before we move on to innovation. What is it that really motivates you to keep you going on in agriculture? Why you continue in the sector? Any one of you all? Mabel, Maggie?
Okay, all right. Um, Firstly, let me just say I love agriculture, and to be a woman of agriculture, you have to have a passion for agriculture. You cannot just get up in the morning and say, "Well, I'm going to do agriculture." You have to have a passion for it. Now, it helped me to be independent. Normally, like when I get up in the morning, when I go to my farm, I go like I am going to work in town. I do everything like you would do when you're going to town to work. When I reach, before I start, I pray. Everything I do, I always thank God. Like after I weed a bed, if I do in a bed of carrots, after I do it, I always lift up my hand and say, "Thank you, Father. At least I finished with that one." You know? And it helped me to stay focused. It helped me to be humble. Like it's just a passion. It just helped me. It's like um they say if you're going for a problem, a therapy.
Oh, it's
Yes,
therapeutic to
it's a
you.
yes. I look at it like that. And like I am not never broke because like being doing agriculture, like you always have a dollar.
Or anticipate
Yeah,
getting one.
right.
Something is in the
And then
ground.
yes, and it
Okay.
help you, it motivates you, it help you to meet people, you know?
Do you
You
agree that, Miss Lloyd?
Yes, I do agree with that. And having been there, I would think I was brought up in agriculture because my grandparents were, my parents were, and it's a passion of mine from youth. And at my age now, as you can see, I am still into it. So 40 years down the road, I still love it. And the reason why I love it even more, I could have been out there being employed in some other form of job because my children are grown. But I choose to send. They were saying to me, "Mom, you can go back to school, you can do what you want to do, or you can, find something else." But I love it. I just love it. And what I love most about agriculture is like when I look into it, is the first form of employment. First form of employment. And why we can get so much of it? Because the Most High, the Creator, he was the one who created it. And our first parents, Adam and Eve, was put into a garden. And from it, everything else
Stem forth.
stemmed forth.
All right.
So I love it. It's my passion.
Maggie, you want to tell us in terms of, do you agree? Is there any point
I
that you want to
I
bring?
agree with what they're saying. I'm kind of new to it, not new in a sense that I was brought up as a farmer's daughter, so I'm very well aware of a farm. I've always had a farm in my life, but it's not something that I did as a career. I had a career before I came into farming,
Which was what
which
may I
was
ask?
education. But I studied in nursing, left nursing, went into education. So the thing is, when I came back home, my dad has a well planned farm. And instead of having the farm just there in deterioration, I revamped the farm and I brought the farm back to life. And I just developed that liking for being on the farm. So I took residence on the farm. I'm there. I'm actually involved in it. I get involved in everything. So it's something that I just learned to grow into. And I think this is my last career. And
All
I
right.
will stay in it and I will encourage the youth
Yes.
to embrace it.
Now, with anything that we love, there are challenges, there are obstacles, there are situations. But in keeping with our theme we have, I want you all to just share with me, as a producer in such a sector, what are the challenges that you all have encountered? Just briefly, if you can.
There's several challenges, but I don't think that challenges can deter you. You are going to find challenges in no matter what aspect of life. For
Mhm.
example, as farmers, we struggle with getting our produce out there on the market. Number one, it's very difficult. Sometimes we have our go-to hucksters come, hucksters don't come. Regular people might call. Some people go on the market. But I think to combat the disadvantage in how you sell and when you sell, you have to really, like everything, put that effort into it and find your market. Find your market and it will sell, it will go.
So you're saying that one of the challenges may be in terms of having a ready outlet, but this is something that you have to really work on in collaboration with other organizations to get resolution.
Yes,
Any
most
of the other
definitely.
ladies, Miss Lloyd or Mabel, challenges, resolutions?
Okay, one of the challenges we might have as women is labor.
And my
And
judge just wrote this down, like literally writing as you were speaking.
okay, labor is one of the challenges that we have. And another challenge that we might be facing is to approach the bank when you want to get a loan as a woman farmer. And
So access to credit.
access to credit,
All right.
yes. So I think I can speak on behalf of most women. The labor part is one of the most difficult part, because if you are not married and have a husband, or if you do not have a partner who is in it with you, helping as a woman is very, very, very difficult. But in my case, it's a bit easier for me because I am married. So, and then for marketing, even as Maggie was saying, sometimes marketing is a problem. I cannot express that because after 40 years, I would have a secure market some way, somehow, somewhere. I'm not saying where, but
No,
but I do
yeah.
have, people who just call and ask me and find out what we have for sale and so on.
But before
I
I move on
embrace that.
to Mabel,
Mhm.
we are in 2023, and you're saying that women in agriculture who want to be independent have problems in accessing credit.
Yes,
Yes,
they
yes,
do.
they
Is
do.
that what I'm
Yes,
hearing?
They do. They
yes.
do. They do.
That's not
Yes.
a myth.
No,
No.
No.
mm-mm. That's not. It's
This is the
true.
number
It's
one
it's true. Mm-hmm.
question that is always put forth, no matter what conference, what meeting we are talking. That always come up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe we've tackled labor, we've said access to credit
Mm-hmm.
and markets. Any other challenges you think?
Yes, there's another
Okay.
challenge, if I may
Yes.
add to what she was saying. But because of new innovations
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't available
And I
20 or
want you to
30
keep
years
it under
ago.
wraps for now. I know where you're.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Maybe let's go.
Okay.
In terms of problems, solutions,
Challenge.
challenges.
Yeah, and sometimes we have water challenges.
Mm.
Yeah, and then in line with the when they talk about the credits, there are particular business place that usually call people for loans, and then when you go because you're a farmer, you are not able to get the loan.
Is it that they're asking for records, for statements to
Um,
show that you are selling?
you have all that, but then you still not qualify.
Well, we're not going to call any names
No, I'm
today.
not calling any
Yes,
name.
but this is something. So I'm sure the reason we asked is because I'm sure that a number of women who are getting into agriculture or into agriculture themselves would want to really have somebody who understands what they're going through and have that message across. Now, as it relates to innovation, we're saying there are so many advancements in technology. You mentioned water, and that I didn't even want to touch on that because persons may say we live in Dominica. How can there be a problem
365
with water
rivers.
and access to water? But we will speak and expound on that. But as it relates to innovation, technology, advancement, etc., what is something that has assisted you all? Is there any area of advanced technology that you're able to utilize on farm?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, most definitely. Um, Thanks to the UNDP grant that they gave to farmers, the Central Farmers, women farmers, decided to take a stand and get gender-friendly tools because, as we all know, the chainsaw is heavy; we cannot maneuver it. The weed whacker, all the tools they make are very heavy, and it's very difficult for us women to use. So there are new innovations out there. There's a battery powered chainsaw that you can use as a woman. It's light, it's pretty easy to use. There are battery powered knapsack that we can use because we use knapsack to wet our plants. There are so much more than it used to be. Back then we have to get somebody to swipe for you, you have to get somebody to saw your wood for you. If you have branches in your way, you have to wait till you find. But now we can do it on our own because there are lighter equipment. Same thing, we'll do the exact same work as other chainsaw would do. So we decided to do the gender friendly tools, and it is working so much better.
Yeah, I've seen your posting. I've
So
seen your
much
posting.
better. Yeah.
Yes. But in terms of weight, how much would you say that the brush cutter, what is the weight you
It
think?
might be going about 2 pounds
That is what I'm saying. And I
or
saw
pound
it.
and a half. Yeah.
That just think of a pound of fish. That's nothing I can get from
Yeah,
a
you
fish.
can handle it. And again, it is battery. It's a battery. You cannot, and you know the what economics of farming?
Yes.
We just had a 4-day workshop with Eco Balance, and they stressed
Explain what is ergonomics for those persons who do not know.
it's the science of your body, it's how you take care of your body. We have a worker come in, and we expect that man to start working from the time he come on the farm till he leaves. No, he has feelings, he has to take a rest. So there are means and ways to help. We have the back straps that you can use. Utilize the tools, it's there. Stop crying with your back and take a chance. There's a way to bend, there's a way to lift. And then doing that workshop on ergonomics with Eco Balance, they taught us how to bend, how to lift. If you know a 5-gallon knapsack is too heavy for you, put 2 gallons in there. So
Pace yourself.
yes, and
Yes.
pace yourself. You work for an hour, you stop, you rest, or you do a lighter task. Because your back, when it break, you have to sit for a week and cannot move because
And in
you
terms of
saw the
cost, don't
muscle.
argue. Someone might be saying, but if it's battery operated and lightweight and gender friendly, it may cost more than a standard.
No, it's not more.
All right.
It's
Okay.
not more.
Because I saw it. I was very impressed. I was rather impressed. So you can do a little swiping around your crops.
You can do your
You can-
swiping, you can cut your flowers, you can hedge your plants, you can cut your chainsaw, you can cut your wood. I mean, you have branches, you wanna prune your trees. There's so much you can do.
All right. Any of the other ladies would like to just? I mean, I have all the answers, so you cannot shy away. So any of the ladies want to get? And I want to remind persons that you can join us on DVS's Facebook page. For those of you, we are live streaming right now. You can see the three beautiful ladies there in studio, and you can have interactive with us via the chat, etc. Or you can feel free to call 1-800. The numbers to call, sorry, 1-800-327 or 448-3281. Yeah, so we're talking about Women's Day, Innovation in Agriculture, and we're moving on to Miss Lloyd or Mabel. Mhm.
Okay, we are not as fortunate as Maggie to have gender friendly tools as yet. We have the normal tools, but then again, when it comes to technology, what's one of the things that we did even during COVID that works well for us is we were able to build with the help of UNDP also, we were able to build a Facebook page to get our produce sold, and which of course was very good. We got a sealer, we had our produce washed and packaged and sealed, and we were able to sell it to either to the vendors or to the supermarkets who needed at that time, and it was for COVID, so we could use the technology that we have to market our produce. And so that was a plus for us.
So is that continuing as we speak?
Well, since everything is open and we are back to normal, it's not continuing, but we also use the technology to find sales sometimes. So
Okay, but you
yes,
are clients
but
asking, are persons asking for that?
people are asking it.
So what would come in that pack then?
Well, what would come in the pack, in our package at that time that we were doing, we were selling our carrots, we were selling our cabbages and would wait, and most of the time it's to the supermarkets. It was easier to sell it to the supermarket in that way, so they would not have to package again. It would come packaged already, still up, and then you
So
just put it
less
on their
human
shelf.
interaction.
Yes,
Okay,
during
okay. That was
COVID.
something that should
Yes,
continue though.
and they donated a sealer to us, so we had the sealer from them and the page.
So that's
So
all along the
yeah,
value chain in terms of
yes,
preservation, etc.
yes.
Yes, maybe we're coming to you in terms of innovation, maybe applications, etc. that you utilize right now.
Well, it also works well for the Mount Prospect Farmers in Action. During the COVID time, we were able to package our seasoning, green seasoning. So in a package, you get celery, parsley, thyme, seasoning, pepper, and salt. There were 3 supermarkets, or I think rather 2, and one is added, and it continues. Right now, if you go to the supermarkets, various supermarkets, you'll be able to pick up the packages well sealed. And again, thank you to UND for they give us a sealer, and then yeah, we are still on.
Okay, anybody's utilizing any apps on their phones?
Well, I was just about to say that.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, we use the app, the garden app on our phones, where it gives us the time to plan the moon. So not every time like you can just go through a calendar or McDonald. You have your data on your phone, so you just go through your app, and here you go. We also do Zoom meeting. Like if the weather is not all that, and we decide, well, okay, we can just stay home, and then after that we just put our notes together.
Mhm.
So yeah.
What I'm getting, the central thing I'm getting here, while you all are using technology, you are also part of a group or a system. It's
Yes.
not you all just independent,
No.
just struggling and in the trenches. And how is that important how important is that for women farmers, female farmers right now in terms of being part of an organization, being part of a group setting, or being part of a community of other farmers?
Being part of a group allows you, I mean, it just gives you the opportunity to learn from each other. Um, During the COVID time, it was a very difficult time around the world. And the app that we use to communicate on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or having meetings, and it convenience the people who are working all day and cannot attend workshops and meetings. So we would have Zoom meetings. And although we had difficulties in our area for the internet because we only had the wireless, but yet still, I mean, we if we couldn't get on Zoom, we would do Google. We would use Google, and I mean, it was so beneficial because everyone was afraid of meeting each other, of going to each other's homes, because we were just afraid of that monster. And thanks to Zoom, we were able to communicate like we were right there in person.
Mhm.
And some of the other apps that is so readily available, and it is so interesting because it's each individual personal experience that I learned so much from, which is YouTube. Anything you need to learn, anything you want to know, you just YouTube and it's there. It might not be what works for everyone, but it gives you a new perspective of how science is important on the farm. We talk about depleting the ozone layer, depleting the earth, too much chemicals, too much fertilizers. And there are so many natural fertilizers and natural things that we can do coming right from our kitchen. And in my group, we share, we learn from each other. It's so important because in the group, we sell amongst ourselves. You have something to sell, you put it out there in the chat, and they call you to tell you, well, I want some string beans or I want pumpkin. And we do that as a group.
All right. Coming back to Mabel and the app Mabel, for those farmers who may be interested, what is the name of the application? Do you remember right now?
Mabel.
I have a data plan, but it just not it just
Yeah,
not
DBS
but
may
it's-
have some firewall, is it called? Yes. But is it the Moon and Garden app?
Yes.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So somebody can just go on Google that Moon and Garden app,
Uh-huh.
and then they can just go down to maybe the what they
Yeah.
call it, the Play Store, and just download. How easy is it to utilize though?
Easy enough because it will tell you like if it's above ground you want to do or if
Mhm.
it's below ground,
Mhm.
and then it will give you watery sign, whatever sign you choose to use.
Mhm.
It will tell you like, okay, today is the 7th. 7th, right?
Today's the 8th of
8th,
May,
right? It
8th
will
of March.
okay, 8th of March. It will tell you, well, today is the 8th. You can plant. It will give you a barren sign, and you just follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And how long have you been utilizing that application or your group rather?
Well, it's a while now since I learned to save from buying a McDonald's. Yeah, I
Think of it as you being environmentally friendly. You're saving the trees, yes.
yes,
Mhm.
and then, but although sometimes I don't use it because right now it's very sunny,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's say like tomorrow life spill, it's raining. I'm not going to use app because I have a lot of plants to put down in the ground. So I'm not going to go to the app. I'm just going to plant by faith.
Okay, but your app, but at least the app gives you the knowledge of what to do.
Yes,
So
but
you
some
utilize the app and you utilize your feet.
yes.
So it's a multi-prong approach.
Balance.
That's a nice one.
Talking about dry, now we are going through our real Kawem. It's very, very dry. And thanks to
It's an
the
early
to the
count,
Red
so
Cross, Mrs. Roll, she has given us a grant, the Central Universal Farmers Group, where we are doing some water harvesting, and they are giving us some tanks and the fittings and the line to run water, because you will say Dominica have 365 rivers, but when you have a farm and you have an acre of land to plant and it's dry, the water is not close to you because we don't really do wells in Dominica. We depend on the rain, or we carry water. But when you have a tank, you put it somewhere, in a particular area in the farm where you can access water. It's very difficult to carry water, and especially our terrain. We farm on hills, we have to go up, and if you have to carry water, it's very difficult. So water harvesting is very good if farmers can at least maybe have a shed in a central location where they can collect water. It's very useful.
So we're looking at what about the ministry has also advocated for rain and water harvesting and these other techniques. Do you all utilize those techniques?
Well, we are now going to utilize this technique because Red Cross has given us a grant.
Okay, but what about in One Prosper and also in Bellevue?
well, not as it in Bellevue.
What do you utilize right now?
Well, we use our garden hose and we use our watering can and we water our plants.
Now we're coming back to the issue you said with water, Mabel. Give us somebody maybe listening may be able to assist and maybe reach out to you all, an organization or maybe somebody with engineering capacity. What is the issue right now in the mountains when it comes to water? I mean, One Prosper always has rain, rather not, and for sure wind.
Well, I haven't seen rain for a week.
A week?
Yeah.
That's a lot in the life of a farmer. Yeah.
So right now, and sometimes we get the dew in the nights at nights very heavy. So like if you sow the carrots or the beets, likely it will germinate. You understand? So then when it start raining, it pick up very fast. But there was an organization which I am so sorry I forget the name right now, that gave us some tanks, and under the supervision of Brent and Delroy William,
Extension officers.
right, extension officers, and then they gave us some tanks, and then right now it helped.
Okay, so at least you've gotten some assistance.
Yes, so
these the big black tanks
right,
you see up
yes,
in the schoolyard area. So
yes,
yes. Okay. I think it was in the UNDP, was it? In
UNDP,
collaboration
right?
with the
Yes,
ministry.
yes. Thank you.
Yes. I think they put together a proposal and they wanted to get that done. we're looking at innovation and we're coming back to something. Social media. I know Maggie mentioned YouTube and also WhatsApp, but in
WhatsApp.
terms of social media and outreach, because I, as you all know, I'm everywhere all the time, all over Dominica. And there are some things that I'm still discovering. Okay? So, social media has the outreach for the world. Do you all think that is something that you all can further utilize, or you all will need training in, or something that you can maximize when it comes to your clientele, what you're offering? Any one of you?
Yeah, as she mentioned earlier on, there was an app that created by
Okay.
ICA,
Mm-hmm.
where we can access the app
Mm-hmm.
and sell our produce. So they already created the app, um, include us as farmers on the app, and we now in turn have to learn to use the app, go on the app, put what we have, and people call us to
Mm-hmm.
to get produce. So that's another innovation that social media has advanced for farmers, is that sometimes some of the farmers say they're not so okay with the computer, but it's only a matter of learning. So they're making it available and accessible to farmers. You want to sell your produce, you put what you have, and people will call you because it's everywhere. Anybody can access it. It's very easy to use. So that's one innovation in farming that is so useful to us in Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be achieved, but it's again, you just have to learn to use it.
I see Mabel is smiling. Yes, and I want to know why.
I remember during COVID time, my daughter did something for me, and then where you could call to make your order, and then it would be delivered. And I remember it's somebody ordered one time and one parcel to take to right to my mistake from on first way I check in.
Well, you see, you do put any parameters. If you say the purchases are 5 and above bundles, maybe it's a single man. Maybe they wanted to make one broth. But at least they reached out to you.
Yes.
And, Miss Lloyd?
Yes, and I know, even though she's speaking about that, I remember in my community there was this young lady who took up the responsibility, and she was selling, and it was your package had to be between $20 and $25 for orders, so she would just you'd make your order and she would deliver, and that was going on well with her. $25, and then she would deliver. Another app also we were taught and was taught us that app is the Trello. I'm not sure if Maggie remembered. We did that, and where you can keep all your records and record keeping, and then you can have even your meetings and the times and the dates, and your all your record keeping would be under that. So that's another app that is that is another good app, and it's accessible. Yes,
because it's in cloud.
Because right.
So you say it's Trello app?
Yes.
And then you just download it?
You download it, yes.
Okay. And it has everything in there?
Yes.
It's a task management app?
Yes.
All right. So I just went on quickly.
And you saw it,
yes.
Right.
So this is not something, I'm just saying that technology isn't something that you all are scared of?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Initially, you all weren't initially?
Pardon?
A little hesitant in terms of adapting and adjusting?
Well, with the children that I have, I don't think I should be hesitant in that, because they always involve me. Mommy, you should try this or try that, especially my daughter. Mm-hmm. So if I have a problem, say I'm on the phone and I need to get something done, I would call her. She's overseas, or call him and say, hey, let me tell you, I'm having problem with this. What do I do? And they would take me step by step into it, and then I would get it. You understand? So it's a matter of wanting to learn, wanting to know it, and even as women, we need to educate ourselves in those areas. Yes, we need to.
How do you involve young people then? I mean, you have your children, yes, but what about other young people in the communities, other young ladies who maybe want to get involved in agriculture? What would you be, or how do you encourage them practically?
WUSC is number one in encouraging the youth because they have an agricultural program at the college.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
over the past 2 years, they would have an internship program where they recruit the students. You don't have to be in agriculture as a major. Any students who would like to get involved over the summer, WUSC pays them a stipend and they send them to the different farms all over Dominica. So the people that get involved in that is again farmers group. They're not just going to take them and send them off anywhere. They have us as farmers group, and then if we have the time, then we give our time.
So you're sort of like a mentor.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a mentorship program.
Yes.
And the kids come for 6 weeks and they work on the farm with us. They experience what it is to be on a farm and they really enjoyed it. And all these kids never leave. They always come back. They always call back. They always try to come and see how things going. And it is such an encouraging opportunity for young people to see that farming is something that, sustainable tomorrow and your future. It's not something that is just going to fall by the wayside. Farming is something that is lasting. And you hear us talk about our parents who are farmers.
Yeah.
And it's not going to die. But we, in turn, have to take care of the soil.
Yeah, we do.
We have to take care of the soil.
Yes, very, very much so. And one of the things that we see happening right now, most people is getting back into farming. And even I can take example on my kids. They're all grown. And I was brought up on farming. They too, yes, my husband was out working, but I always was in, and he always loved farming. And the children educated, sent to school, educated, and right now all of them, they are going back into farming. They love it. They love it. They were there last year, and because of the discouragement, they did not go this year. But we are into potatoes. They are not into potatoes this year, but they are helping in planting the potatoes, plowing the land and planting, and they are there. And so, and I see a lot of people, who out there in the secular world is coming back into farming. There is something in it that, everybody wants to be in it. And not only for the income, I don't think it's just for the income, because it's so therapeutic. When you are in there, you are at peace, number one, with your maker. You are at peace with everything around you. And people do not understand. I mean, imagine you have your flower garden and you're in it, because some people, their roses, they love their roses and they don't want anything to pass. Well, it's so with us, with our plants, our anthuriums, or dashing, or cabbages, or vegetables that we grow. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it.
I thought I had so much time. I was just taking mine at the time. So many questions I have. So let me get into my questions then. Yes, you're a woman. Yes, you're into agriculture. But how do you really balance your home and family life in terms of being on the farm, making your monies, and still having a balanced life? And I know some people are still involved in other money-making ventures I wouldn't want to talk about.
Okay, for me, right now, it's easy because my children are grown. And no grandchildren to look after. No grandchildren at the moment to look after. They are at school. So it's easy for me in a sense that I can just wake up in the morning, have my devotions, and then just walk around in the garden and just move. I don't have anything keeping me back. I can just decide, okay, today is planting, or today is sowing, or today is harvesting, whatever it is.
But every day you're on the farm.
Every day I'm on the farm. Every day I'm on the farm. And for me, it brings a double income on the farm. And I wouldn't say what is the second income, but it brings a double income for me on the farm.
Want to know what is double income?
But I don't.
That's not fair to us.
Huh?
That's not fair to us.
To know what is the double income?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Maggie will tell you.
Yes, Mabel, I see you're very quiet. But in terms of balance, tell me.
My double income is, other than I have in growing and selling to the supermarket, when it is seen, you come on my farm as a visitor, you see, you pay to be there.
Oh, so you're doing farm towards tourism. Okay, so I have a point about that also, but yes, Mabel, I see you're very quiet. How do you balance life and your other entrepreneurial activities?
It's easy.
Really?
Yeah, because I make sure I like to work, but I make sure I am well fed and I
Mhm.
make sure that I rest. I
Mhm.
always take an hour rest, like between 1 to 3 o'clock. When you call me, you will find I rest in. I don't just go on the farm like whole day just working, working, working. No. When you come at my home in the morning, 6 o'clock, I won't be there. I have already on my farm. But then I always take a break.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sure.
And then you come back to the family later on.
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same process. You know, you look
Break
you
time.
look at it as a job.
Mm-hmm.
When I get up in the morning, I prepare breakfast. The workers come. I would offer a cup of coffee or tea. Who don't drink coffee? Then we go on a farm. I assign the task and I stay close to home and I cook lunch. And I'm not in a place where the people can go and buy lunch or go and buy bread or so. You didn't bring lunch. You get offered some lunch,
Mhm.
and it's like a everyday life. I get up, I make breakfast, I make lunch, I make dinner, and as she say, at a certain time, I stop.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I stop, and then I do other things. I am quite versatile. I do quite a bit, but I pace myself.
Yep.
Anybody involved in livestock, rearing,
Yeah.
animal
I do. I
husbandry?
have a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
do.
livestock.
You
I
all
do.
do?
Yes, yes. We have
I have a lot of
we have
livestock.
goats, we have cows,
Mhm.
we have chickens and rabbits.
But this
So
is a 24-hour, every
yes,
day
we
a week.
do.
Yeah, but
But then,
I have
sorry.
help.
hmm And my husband is there, and my husband love the farm even more than me. So, and then even my sisters, my brothers, they are all educated and they are all into farming. My sister was so afraid of earthworm. Now she can hold it in her hand because she's so
So
into
she's making
farming. Yes,
progress.
she's making progress.
Yes, so the
So
animal.
sorry, yes, the animals are taken care of. Yes,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
and I love it and I love having the animals. Say, Maggie, I love having them
Okay, one
around.
thing I want to mention, are you integrating local and local consumption of foods into your diets?
Oh,
I know
Oh
Mabel
mm-hmm.
doesn't
yes.
want to talk about the ice pops, but I
Hey.
will talk about it for her. And I haven't seen them in a while, Mark you. But anyway, I'm not saying anything.
They there.
Do you integrate locally produced foods that you do not produce yourself into your family's diet, into your diet itself? So you have your teas, which are local.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know about your consumption of local commodities. Because if you're a farmer, you need to
Yeah.
promote local. Mhm.
And that is one of the things I make sure at every meeting I go. And we have to be very, very careful, even the way we grow what we grow,
Mhm.
because we need to be eating what we grow
Amen.
ourselves. And if you are growing it carelessly, which means to say you are feeding it out carelessly, so it have to be at a standard in a way where it is you are consuming it, and when you are selling it, it is, because sometimes we see the mistake that we do. And I always remember growing up, um, in the days when my parents were ignorant. I'm not sure how many people remember that the Gramazone containers, they would wash it after they have used the Gramazone and use it as water containers, not realizing how dangerous that was at that time to
Before
your
the
body
triple
and
rinse
to your,
system.
yes, to your health. And so even those little things of the taking care of the plants and washing your hands and going in the garden, and you know you have to be very, very careful. And like I always say, and my family can tell you, when I present to the supermarket, I want to make sure it's presentable, because it tells who you are the way you present the thing.
Okay, so I would have offered you all a lovely glass of plantain wine or banana wine, but I mean, we're rushing for time and we wouldn't
Or kale and carrot akra.
Oh, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. Or sour ice pop.
You understand what I mean? Or nice papa
Oh,
juice.
Maggie, I got some in my Maggie. I can't remember. What was it? A cake Maggie?
I make everything local. Dried fruits.
Yes.
Coconut.
Oh, it
And
was Maggie. Don't say a word.
oh
It was the um dehydrated fruits.
yes.
And let me tell you, this Exotica has nothing on this. Nothing, Maggie. And that is why I'm saying we need to utilize technology,
Yeah.
Facebook, to do promotion. I want to encourage you all. I want to continue doing what you're doing. We want to thank you for your services, your continued services. We want to encourage women out there. But what I want to just make mention of, I can already put the cat under the bag. But I do think that you have heard the pronouncements from the ministry as it relates to Dexia and the ministry collaborating, so agriculture and trade. And very soon, a program will be rolled out in terms of finding a suitable market for all fresh produce on the island. So that is something we're going to do an outreach, we're going to do promotion, sensitization, and women will be engaged. There's nothing about where's the men, etc. It's equal opportunity for all. As long as you're working, you're producing, you can get on board. We want to remind you that March 31st is around the corner, so that you need to get your produce seller's license renewed. Remember, that's an annual exercise, and pedia larceny, etc. So this is what we're trying to curb in terms of those two-legged harvesters coming on farms and just taking your hard work in vain. So therefore, I want to say once again, it has been a pleasure to be here. Yeah, I do have 10 more minutes. I was told that is why, so I can go along with my questions. Okay, I do apologize for that. So I can ask you more questions then. In terms of when we look at, so let's get back to our questions. I'm very thankful for that 10 minutes. In terms of 30 years ago to now, we know that person say that there's been a change in terms of what is readily available for women to produce. We had the banana sector, that was a weekly, regular, very tiring, troublesome exercise. How do you decide what is produced on your farm right now? What is in your mind space? How do you set? How do you plan any one of your?
I am very versatile. I try to grow everything because it's a large farm. Now, we know that we farm according to season, and you plant ginger around March, April, you plant yam a certain time. So, and they always say, can you pace your farming? So when one set of persons have carrots, then there's no carrots. But we have to realize that 2, 3, 4 months ago, all we had was rain, and we could not produce a thing because it was just rain and slugs. We're fighting with slugs because it's so wet. Now it's dry. So now I think we're going to have everything because now everything is coming out. The farm have carrot, cabbage, lettuce, cucumber, everything is available because we have nice weather. So grapefruit come around November, December. It's nothing we can do about it. If you have an orange tree that maybe grows year round, you're lucky. But remember, it starts flowering around March. And then you start having grapefruits, tangerines, mandarins, oranges around November and December. And sometimes it may go into January, February. So if they say there's too much on the market, but it comes when it comes. So it's not really much we can do. Because yes, people that have greenhouses, they can diversify, they can plant different intervals. Yes. But when you have the open space and then you have the different seasons, we didn't have a season this year. We had just rainy season because we had a lot of rain. And now it's dry. You see, she said for 2 weeks now it's sun. And I'm in Sultan and I don't see sun. And I'm seeing sun. So, I mean, we just thank God for providing us with such beautiful, fruitful land that we can grow food. Right? This year we didn't have yam. Last year we had a yam disease. We didn't have yam. I planted maybe 6 bags of yam. I got no yam. And we are asking the Ministry of Agriculture to please provide yellow yam. We cannot get yellow yam plants to
you're
plant.
saying like the germplasm to produce, and you're talking about yam cuttings?
Yes. White yam was destroyed. We have a yam disease. I didn't get no yam.
Yeah, well, that was correct. But we did institute a tech pack system. Did the quarantine officer or the extension officer come to you to deliver on that?
No.
In terms of, okay, I will see if I get some information for you on that. So you're going into yellow yams because it's resistant, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, you've tried some already?
Yes, I have some. But then the white yam is not going. Okay. I mean, you're at a loss. When you put the white yam, it's just not making yam. It's just the soil is eating it up. So we have to give it a rest. It's like crop rotation. You know, you plant a certain food in a certain spot, you have to give that a rest. You cannot go and plant the same thing there. We try to do intercropping where, well, when you have the yam, you plant string beans and you plant other beans and you plant, you know, very short crop. So you can have potatoes growing and string beans growing at the same time. You can have carrots growing and have herbs at the same time in the same area. So intercropping is good and crop rotation is good. And again, the animals that I have, that's my manure. That's what I use. That's my go-to. You make the manure tea using the animal down. I use my manure to put in my vegetable because that's all I eat. So you eat what you grow, and I also have a business. Is from farm to table. So whenever I have a guest, they ask for dinner, they get everything from the farm.
Everything from the farm.
Everything from the farm. The chicken. The only thing I don't have is fish. That's if I don't go down to the river to catch some crabs and book. So everything
You go
from
down
the
to the river yourself,
farm.
Maggie?
I do. The river's right there.
Uh,
I go and catch my seaweed, girl.
Yes, Miss
Yeah.
Lloyd.
Yes, in light of your question about the
Yes.
different crops that we plant, one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm planting lots of fruits. The reason why is because in the future, maybe when I cannot plant the cabbages and the carrots and everything else, the fruit trees will be there and they'll be bearing fruits. So
so you
there'll
want
be
to-
another
You don't
income.
want to be
And
bending so much on the bed.
you understand what
So
I
don't
mean?
you do the raised
And
bed in terms of
yeah,
the-
we do raise beds.
Okay.
That's the way we cultivate our vegetables. But what I'm saying, in the future, if the Lord tarries and I should live maybe 80, 85, my dad is
That's good.
87, and then you have the fruit trees because they are more resistant at that time, and then you can't bend over, but you'll be getting an income from the fruits. And I try planting sours and limes and peppers and so I'm into that also. But the problem now, we have lots of difficulties in getting plants, so I having to make my own plants.
Oh.
And yes, because I try to sow my lime seeds to
The
make use of it.
gardens
Yes,
have
and I was promised by the gardens that they would come and graft it for
grafted
me.
for you.
Yes, graft it for me. So I'm trying right now plant sowing my peppers and having, well, I got a few plants and my sour sops and sweet sops. So I'm sowing my own seeds and trying, to have my fruits for the future. Lord tarries if he delays. And with the vegetables, we do different vegetables: broccoli, carrot, cabbage, cauliflowers, parsley, celery, chive. We have a bit of each. We do a bit of each. And what I do, having been in it for a while, I look at the timing. Timing works for me because you see, at this time of the year, you have lots of cabbages, carrots, and lettuce on the market. And even as women farmers, or even as farmers on a whole, you need to be aware. You need to know your market. You need to know
Like
when
every
it is
business.
plentiful, because you have to treat your agriculture as a business. It's a business. You go in it, you want it. Everybody looks for profit. You will not get profit all the time, but at the same time, you have to know the market. What is in it at this time of the year? January, February, March, April, May. What is in it? You know it is full of carrot, cabbage. So you try to diversify. You try to plant broccoli, cauliflowers, and the things that you know that will sell the most at that time. So you try planting. So I
And you're
would
going
say
to high end. I
yes.
see you looking at the high end. How much is that? Does the pound of broccoli go for right for cauliflower?
So you want to know that on the air? Six,
Yeah,
seven.
Yes.
6, 7.
Yes.
Budget.
Yes, $6, $7 a pound right
That
now.
is very good.
Yes, the local broccoli. I mean,
That is farm good prices,
it is very good, because when you have the imported broccoli, when you go on the
Boy.
market and for you to see the price.
No, but at farm gate, we need to take into account this farm gate. You bring to the supermarket, they do the little
Yes,
markup,
yes.
their packaging. So
No,
if get a
I
pound
mean
of
the
broccoli,
imported I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the local one, they sell it at a reasonable price at the supermarket.
But where-
So locally you get it $6 a pound. We sell it at $6 a pound, $7 a pound, and then we let the market do
what they want.
whatever
Yes,
they
yes,
want
yes.
with it. And
Mabel,
so-
I know you're from the seasoning county of Dominica. You're in charge of all seasonings, one prospect, and herbs and etc. Culinary herbs, that is.
Yeah.
But how do you decide what you plant?
Okay. Right now we plant everything. We do carrots, cabbages, seasoning, green seasoning, beets, just name it, all vegetables. But then there's certain time like the when you sow the carrots, it doesn't matter what you do. The slugs, the slugs will pass and eat it and whatever. So what I do, I use the sand. Like I
Ashes.
love burning, stuff like
Muka.
dry thing, and in other words we call it, long time words we call it buka. So then I use that and I sow my seeds, so that helps me with the slugs. And I eat what I grow. I also use my I have sheep and I have goats. So what I do, I use their
Yeah.
their, how they
The
would say,
dung?
their
The
dung,
dung,
yes. I put it in a drum with some other stuff, good stuff. And then at the end of like 6 weeks, I use it to spray. So when you spray the crops with it, it has something that will kill the white flies and all those, and then it will also boost it up. But like now, in the weather we are now, you have to watch how you use it, because according to, if you use it too strong, it can kill the plants, or but then
Yes,
yeah,
burn them.
but then we survive. Right now, the market is like flooding with plenty things, but you not having it. And when the customer come, you have to go and ask somebody. So I prefer, even though it have plenty on the market, at least I have it, so I can provide my customer what they need.
So you do a smaller quantity.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
But you're available. All of you are available on the local markets weekly.
Yes.
No, I'm not on the local market at all.
I don't go to the
No, I don't go to the market at all. For years, I've not been going to the market at all, at all, at all. So,
But I know maybe we would like all this interaction at the market.
Yes.
So,
And then, sorry, earlier when you asked a question about some of the technological advancement that were not available 20 to 30 years ago, like we have right now the tillers. The tillers help us to, till the land. Like if this time you have some carrots and so, and you say, well, you want to rotate, you want to do something else. Like you till the soil and then you do something else.
Alright.
So at the end of it, you will get a better result. Like just put in 5 years, or how many months, like one place you just put in carrots.
Okay.
At a certain time you will not expect it to do that well for you. So you have to change. If let's you say you have string beans, you rotate, you put something else. After the string beans harvest, you rotate, you put something else. You
So
understand?
we just thank you very much for that. We are our 10 minutes is up already. We just want your final comments, your final words, in terms of encouragement to the women. Anything you want to share for International Women's Day? Today is actually our day.
well, we want to thank you for having us, but also we want to thank every woman listening at this time, to know how important you are, to know how blessed you are, to know how wonderful you are, and to know how you are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. And you do not be afraid to take up challenges, whatever you decide to do in farming. It is a good thing. Take it up seriously, take it up as a business. You go to work 8 to 4. Make sure you on your farm, you get your rest, you eat what you grow, you eat healthy, eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, and stay in touch with yourself as a woman.
Okay, Maggie, Mabel.
Yes,
Okay.
it's our day. We are women, and I mean, every day is a woman day, because the woman is what drives this whole economy around the world. But today we take the opportunity to bless and encourage all other women in any aspect of what you do. And when you do something in your heart and you appreciate what you do, it's going to be fulfilling. You're going to feel like, I'm not tired, or I'm not bored. So because you will put your all into it, and because you can put your all into it, the pleasure of being modest, the pleasure of serving, the pleasure of just honoring someone else and not thinking that it's all about you. Farming is that's what it brings to us as women. We give,
Yep.
we share, I know these ladies, we meet in workshops, we share
Knowledge.
recipes that we have for slugs, we share recipes that we have for whiteflies. We just love to sit and talk and share our experiences, and it is a world of goodies. It's just
That's
good.
true. That's
Okay,
You
Mabel.
know?
Okay. On behalf of the Mon Prosper Women Farmers in Action, I would like to say thank you for having me here today to represent Mon Prosper. And as a certified farmer, I would just like to say farming is good. You know, some people say like believe like you cannot look nice when you're a farmer. When I am the farm, I'm a farmer. You know, I just like a farmer. But when I come to town, I make myself look nice. You know, so I just want to say like farming is a good thing. It motivates you. It helps you focus. It just so
All right.
And you always have a she money.
You always have a she money. Plus your bus money. Okay, so I want to say thank you very much. We went out to the field today. We met Mrs. Gore. She is striding. Her husband said it's her plantation. He's just an employee on it, a manager, but she is the one in charge. I want to say also to Miss Lakia Joseph. She is the Minister for Agro-Processing, and she's also utilizing a number of local products. I just had a moringa flake I bought, and we have Jennifer, as usual, who does our coconut cheese, etc. We have all the frontline workers from the ministry and also the project management unit, that is the Emergency Agricultural Project. I want to say also to the WUSC. So really and truly, women are running things, Women are running things. We're making our strides. We are trying and we are feeding our society a healthy and balanced diet. We have a number of women who are fishers. They are diving. They are divers. The ladies involved in seamoss production in Grand Bay, in Woodford, and Calibishi. And I want to say thank you very much. I am happy to be part of a system that recognizes the efforts and the strides and the excellence of all women. So once again, ladies, thank you very much for being here, taking time from your schedule, because now it's your downtime, I'm assuming. So thank you very much, and a happy International Women's Day. Until next time,
Thank
you.
you.
Same
Same
to
to
you.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, WUSC.
Guy, we have to run.
Yep. That's it.
And I have my husband waiting for me outside.
Okay.